The internet swears that pouring a $1 brown bottle over your feet works miracles, and the real science is stranger than the hype. The famous fizz does not mean what you think. Doctors quietly reverse decades of advice about it, and for millions of people, it should never touch their feet at all. The viral videos promise a total transformation, stacking 3 massive claims onto a single household bottle: wiping out embarrassing foot odor, curing stubborn toenail fungus, and peeling away rough calluses to leave behind baby-soft skin. On social media, a simple soak is presented as a complete, inexpensive foot care clinic. But putting these claims directly against clinical guidance from the American Academy of Dermatology and leading podiatrists reveals a highly mixed reality. This is not about endorsing a viral trend. It is about building an honest, science-based scorecard to see what actually works. When examined under medical scrutiny, the results are highly fragmented. While some of these popular home remedies have genuine, limited usefulness for daily hygiene, one of the most popular claims is completely debunked by specialists, and another carries a serious safety warning that could lead to severe health complications if ignored. When that familiar brown bottle meets your skin, a dramatic white foam instantly erupts. It looks like a fierce chemical battle, but the actual science is straightforward. Our tissues and living cells contain an enzyme called catalase. Its job is to protect cells by rapidly breaking down hydrogen peroxide. The moment the liquid touches a break in the skin, catalase splits it into 2 simple components: water and oxygen gas. Those frantic fizzing bubbles are just that escaping oxygen. This is where a major medical myth falls apart. Many believe that a more intense fizz indicates a worse infection. In truth, the bubbles are not a biological report card. Because the foam is triggered by the catalase inside your own healthy cells, a completely sterile cut can bubble just as vigorously as one covered in bacteria. The fizzing simply proves the enzyme is active, not that your skin is dirty. Foot odor, medically known as bromodosis, occurs when surface bacteria feed on sweat inside warm, dark shoes. For this specific issue, a diluted hydrogen peroxide soak offers a practical solution. The common protocol involves mixing 1 pint of standard 3% hydrogen peroxide into 1 gallon of warm water. Soaking feet for 10 to 15 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week, helps neutralize the odor-causing microbes. Using the standard 3% strength is necessary, as higher concentrations can cause severe chemical burns on the skin. This soak works by targeting surface bacteria on intact skin, but it is only one part of foot hygiene. For long-term results, pair the soak with healthy habits. Rotate shoes to let them dry fully, and wear moisture-wicking socks. This method is strictly for managing surface odor on healthy, unbroken skin, rather than treating deep-seated infections. Hydrogen peroxide can kill fungus on contact when applied to hard surfaces, but its effect on living tissue is far more complicated. Some podiatrists suggest a diluted soak might support the treatment of very mild, early-stage athlete's foot. However, the wider medical consensus cautions that peroxide is not an effective antifungal treatment. Because the compound breaks down almost instantly upon contact with human skin cells, it cannot penetrate deeply enough to destroy the underlying dermatophytes. Repeated exposure to peroxide also strips the skin's natural protective barrier, which often leads to painful redness, dryness, and irritation that can make the feet more vulnerable to secondary infections. For this reason, the American Academy of Dermatology recommends over-the-counter antifungal creams, such as terbinafine, as the proven first-line standard of care. Clinical studies show these targeted treatments achieve cure rates over 80%, whereas peroxide-only regimens lack proven efficacy. Ultimately, a diluted soak serves only as a temporary, superficial hygiene measure, not a cure. Viral tutorials often claim that soaking your feet in hydrogen peroxide will clear up yellow, thickened toenails. But hydrogen peroxide is an antiseptic, not an antifungal. The American Academy of Dermatology does not recommend peroxide for nail fungus, and there is no clinical evidence that it cures the condition. The biological reality is that the fungus lives deep within the nail bed, buried beneath the hard, protective keratin plate. A weak surface oxidant simply cannot penetrate this barrier to reach the active infection. Repeatedly soaking discolored nails can actually damage the nail plate itself, while the fungal colony continues to thrive completely undisturbed underneath. This creates a severe practical risk. Spending months on unproven home soaks allows the underlying infection to spread completely unchecked, delaying the professional diagnosis and targeted prescription-strength treatments needed to actually clear the nail. For decades, the dark brown plastic bottle was the first tool grabbed for any minor cut or scrape. But modern medicine has completely reversed this long-standing first aid ritual. Today, healthcare professionals, following official guidance from the Cleveland Clinic, advise using plain soap and water instead of hydrogen peroxide to wash minor injuries. The science behind this is simple. That famous bubbling oxidation does not discriminate. It is cytotoxic, meaning it destroys the healthy cells your body needs to recover. Specifically, peroxide harms fibroblasts, the cells responsible for building new skin tissue, along with the delicate white blood cells protecting the area. Controlled studies directly link applying peroxide to open wounds with slower recovery times and more noticeable scarring. Because of this, dermatologists and podiatrists have established a firm safety boundary. If your foot has an open cut, a cracked heel, a friction blister, or any skin break, the brown bottle must stay closed. For individuals living with diabetes, the risks of home skin treatments cross a strict medical boundary. Diabetes frequently causes peripheral neuropathy, a condition that reduces pain and nerve sensation in the feet, alongside compromised blood circulation. This dangerous combination means a minor scrape, shoe blister, or cracked heel can easily go unnoticed while failing to heal. What begins as a small break in the skin can rapidly progress into a severe, limb-threatening diabetic ulcer. Introducing hydrogen peroxide to this fragile environment is highly hazardous because this oxidizing chemical destroys the newly forming cells and delicate tissue needed for recovery. It actively blocks the body's natural repair mechanisms. Podiatrists are completely unanimous. Routine peroxide use on diabetic feet can halt healing and ultimately endanger the limb itself. If you have diabetes, you must skip every home experiment and foot soak. Any foot issue, no matter how minor, requires professional evaluation by a medical specialist. While hydrogen peroxide fails as a cure for infections, it still has practical, evidence-based uses in foot care when applied correctly. A diluted soak, using standard 3% peroxide mixed into warm water, can effectively manage occasional foot odor or help soften tough, rough calluses. This must only be done on healthy, completely intact skin. The chemical is highly effective at sanitizing inanimate objects. Submerging metal nail clippers and pumice stones in 3% peroxide for 5 minutes destroys lingering microbes that could otherwise reinfect your feet. You can also spray it onto shower floors or lightly mist the interior of your shoes to sanitize them. If you choose to use peroxide on your skin, remember the safety boundaries. Use only 3% strength, always dilute it, apply only to unbroken skin, and limit use to occasional sessions rather than daily habits. Stop immediately if irritation develops. For any persistent foot concerns, bypass the home remedies and consult a board-certified podiatrist. The fizz may vanish, but the need for evidence remains. As online health trends multiply, the smartest care is always guided by science, not social media algorithms. Your body deserves safe, proven care. What do you think? Share your thoughts below.